Chapter 2. The Military Census. Numbers 1, 5 to 54. And these are the names of the men that shall stand with you. Of the tribe of Reuben, Elizur the son of Shedeur. Of Simeon, Shelumiel the son of Zurishaddai. Of Judah, Nashon the son of Amminadab. Of Issachar, Nathaniel the son of Zuar. Of Zebulun, Eliab the son of Helon. Of the children of Joseph, of Ephraim, Elishama the son of Ammihud. Of Manasseh, Gamaliel the son of Pedahazur. Of Benjamin, Abidan the son of Gideoni. Of Dan, Ahiezer the son of Ammishaddai. Of Asher, Pagiel the son of Ochran. Of Gad, Eliasaph the son of Deuel. Of Naphtali, Ahira the son of Enan. These were the renowned of the congregation, princes of the tribes of their fathers, head of thousands in Israel. And Moses and Aaron took these men which are expressed by their names, and they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names, from 20 years old and upward, by their polls. As the Lord commanded Moses, so he numbered them in the wilderness of Sinai. And the children of Reuben, Israel's eldest son, by their generations, after their families, by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names, by their polls, every male from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war. Those that were numbered of them, even of the tribe of Reuben, were 46,500. Of the children of Simeon, by their generations, after their families, by the house of their fathers, those that were numbered of them, according to the number of the names, by their polls, every male from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war. Those that were numbered of them, even of the tribe of Simeon, were 59,300. Of the children of Gad, by their generations, after their families, by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names, from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war. Those that were numbered of them, even of the tribe of Gad, were 45,650. Of the children of Judah, by their generations, after their families, by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names, from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war. Those that were numbered of them, even of the tribe of Judah, were 314,600. Of the children of Issachar, by their generations, after their families, by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names, from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war. Those that were numbered of them, even of the tribe of Issachar, were 54,400. Of the children of Zebulun, by their generations, after their families, by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names, from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war. Those that were numbered of them, even of the tribe of Zebulun, were 57,400. Of the children of Joseph, namely of the children of Ephraim, by their generations, after their families, by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names, from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war. Those that were numbered of them, even of the tribe of Ephraim, were 40,500. Of the children of Manasseh, by their generations, after their families, by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names, from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war. Those that were numbered of them, even of the tribe of Manasseh, were 32,200. Of the children of Benjamin, by their generations, after their families, by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names, from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war. Those that were numbered of them, even of the tribe of Benjamin, were 35,400. Of the children of Dan, by their generations, after their families, by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names, from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war. Those that were numbered of them, even of the tribe of Dan, were 62,700. Of the children of Asher, by their generations, after their families, by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names, from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war. Those that were numbered of them, even of the tribe of Asher, were 41,500. Of the children of Naphtali, throughout their generations, after their families, by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names, from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war. Those that were numbered of them, even of the tribe of Naphtali, were 53,400. These are those that were numbered, which Moses and Aaron numbered, and the princes of Israel, being 12 men, each one was for the house of his fathers. So were all those that were numbered of the children of Israel, by the house of their fathers, from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war in Israel. Even all they that were numbered were 600,003,550. But the Levites, after the tribe of their fathers, were not numbered among them. For the Lord had spoken unto Moses, saying, Only thou shalt not number the tribe of Levi, neither take the sum of them among the children of Israel. But thou shalt appoint the Levites over the tabernacles of testimony, and over all the vessels thereof, and over all things that belong to it. They shall bear the tabernacle, and all the vessels thereof, and they shall minister unto it, and shall encamp around the tabernacle. And when the tabernacle setteth forward, the Levites shall take it down, and when the tabernacle is to be pitched, the Levites shall set it up, and a stranger that cometh nigh shall be put to death. And the children of Israel shall pitch their tents, every man by his own camp, and every man by his own standard, throughout their hosts. But the Levites shall pitch round about the tabernacle of testimony, that there be no wrath upon the congregation of the children of Israel. And the Levites shall keep the charge of the tabernacle of testimony. And the children of Israel did according to all that the Lord commanded Moses, so did they. Numbers 1, 5-54. In verses 4-19, the fact of the census is cited, and the representatives of each of the 12 tribes, Levi not being counted, are named in verses 5-15. In verses 20-46, we are given the results of the census. There are 603,550 fighting men, verse 46. This is similar to the results cited in Exodus 38:26. This number came from all the men 20 years old and upward who paid the half-shekel head tax. Almost 40 years later, another census gave a total slightly lower, 601,730. There were, however, great variations in the tribal counts in this later census. In verses 47-54, the work of the Levites is cited. Verse 2 can be translated instead of as tribes or families in the Authorized Version, as clans. It is a census of all that are able to go forth to war in Israel, verse 3, or all who are eligible for military service. This indicates that the aged and the crippled were not counted. Since God was the king of his covenant people, a census was exclusively his privilege and for his purposes. A census was thus a religious fact. At one point in time, the U.S. Census was a careful account of the religious faith of the people of the various religious bodies, including denominations of less than 100 people, and it was a record also of the histories, doctrines, and activities of each. After World War II, this kind of census ended. There are a number of important aspects to this census. First, it is a census of the strength of the tribes or clans, not of Israel as a monolithic unit. Military action was normally by tribal or clan action under the command of a central authority. Hebrew documents give the cut-off age for able-bodied men as 60. Some of history's most effective armies have been those where a strong clan loyalty has existed, as among the Scots and the Welsh. The power of a common purpose united with a strong blood bond has been important. The emphasis on loyalty to the central state power is a modern emphasis. Revolutionary France replaced the historic regions of France with artificially created departments. In the United States, efforts are underway to replace the states with 10 federal districts. Natural loyalties are replaced with state-created ones. The head tax of Exodus 38:26 indicated the number of able-bodied males in Israel. The purpose of this census was to establish the tribal or clan militias. God honored the clan loyalties and made them basic to Israel's military action. In the 20th century, as both the purposes of war and the constituencies of armies have grown more abstract, the willingness of men to fight has accordingly decreased. A depersonalized army is thus vulnerable. Not surprisingly, highly personal guerrilla forces have an intense personal dedication. Second, the census made it clear that Israel was an army in the march from slavery to freedom, from the wilderness to the promised land. Whereas, at the beginning, God had saved them miraculously, the time now had come for them to battle for their inheritance. They were not going to be raptured into the promised land. God's empowering grace was the preparation for warfare, not for inaction. In his hymn, Am I a Soldier of the Cross? Isaac Watts, 1724, ably depicted the expectations of false faith. Must I be carried to the skies on flowery beds of ease, while others fought to win the prize and sail through bloody seas? Salvation required Israel to be future-oriented. They could not rest contented with the wilderness. Our ideas of the wilderness years are governed by our knowledge of what Arabia is now, and they are thus unrealistic. It was once a forested land with many streams, underpopulated and well able to contain Israel on the march. Life was not too unpleasant. There was grazing for all their herds. To remain content with the wilderness was no doubt a real temptation to some, even as a return to Egypt was to others. The covenant Lord, however, required that they look ahead to the promised land and to growth in the covenant law and life in that land. Third, the names of some of the clan leaders indicate that some kind of religious motivation was present because the names reflect the covenant and God. Thus, in verse 6, Shelumiel means, at peace with God, or my friend is God. Aminadab, verse 7, means, God hath given. Eliab is, God is Father. Elishama means, God hath heard. Verse 10. Amihud, the divine kinsman is glorious. Gamaliel, God is my reward. And Pedazur, the rock hath redeemed. Abidan means, the Father hath judged. Verse 11. Aiezer is, the divine brother is a help. And Amishadai, the people of Shaddai. Verse 12. Pagiel means, the lot of fates of, that is, given by, God. Verse 13. Eliasaph is God hath added, and Deuel or Reuel, verse 14, is God is a friend. The name is a shortened form of Daruel. Ahira means the divine brother is a friend, verse 15. However, Nashon, verse 7, means a serpent. While the religious names were no guarantee of faith, they do indicate that, to some degree, the covenant governed the people's thinking. Fourth, in verse 16, the clan leaders listed in verses 5 to 15 are called heads of thousands in Israel. These 12 men were heads of family groups of 1,000. The 1,000 was a subgroup within the tribe or clan. All such clan leaders were responsible for all families under their rule. Allegiance to the law and the focus of authority on the tribal level rested with these men. Under them were the 100, and the existence of 100 courts is well documented in English history, and they existed in the American colonies. This meant decentralization and an emphasis on family and local authority. While this was no insurance against faithlessness, it did ensure particular strength in times of faith. Fifth, Levi was not included in the census and the militia because priority remained in the maintenance of the centre. In the modern world, the core of the educational curriculum is no longer scripture, but the liberal arts. How artificial the modern view of the liberal arts is came clearly into view with World War II. It was quickly regarded as the least important aspect of the university's curriculum and was treated accordingly. This Levitical exemption from the military census is the legal basis for the continuing exemption of the clergy from military draft. Sixth, the tribes were to encamp around the sanctuary, every man by his own camp, and every man by his own standard. Verse 52. There were thus 4 standards, one for each direction, north, south, east, and west, and 3 tribes on each side. The 4 standards were those of Judah, Reuben, Ephraim, and Dan. The Levites were around the sanctuary, that there be no wrath upon the congregation of the children Israel. Verse 53. The other tribes were to protect the people as a whole. The Levites had to protect the sanctuary. Any profane trespass against the sanctuary was punishable by death. Verse 51. No law gives any human agency this power, and according to one Jewish tradition, God, rather than a human court, would look to the punishment. Seventh, the census was for the 12 tribes, and the results were Reuben, 46,500, Simeon, 59,300, Gad, 46,650, Judah, 74,600, Issachar, 54,400, Zebulun, 57,400, Ephraim, 40,500, Manasseh, 32,200, Benjamin, 35,400, Dan, 62,700, Asher, 41,500, Naphtali, 53,400. Total, 603,550. In the New Testament, our Lord calls 12 disciples to replace the 12 tribes. This fact is seldom taken seriously. We are too much influenced by the Roman imperial centralizing pattern, whereas the biblical standard is unity, not union. This does not mean a toleration of false theologies, but it does militate against a false ecumenism which seeks to centralize all church authorities. Man's attempts to centralize authority have as their presupposition a belief that a full awareness of the nature of truth and authority rests in the man-created center. This is a dangerous illusion. The decentralized nature of the military power as God ordained it provided a veto by the clans or tribes on any unilateral military action by the central power. Applied to the present, this would mean that the military power in the main would be made up of state militias and state guards rather than a federal, national army. This would be a severe restriction on rash or aggressive action, in that a navy alone could not wage war. Such decentralization is no certain insurance against rash warfare, but it would be a major break against such action.